far would you go to be perfect for something? Some actors are willing to take things to the absolute limit, and people can't help but worry about those long-term effects. When it comes to extreme weight loss for a role, you cannot beat Christian Bale. He lost so much weight he was almost unrecognizable, and rumor is he nearly passed away. The role in question was Trevor from The Machinist. The movie was a thriller about a person suffering from chronic insomnia and how that affects their lifestyle. While the film is very strong on its own, it's been slightly overshadowed by the fact that Christian Bale is literally skin and bones. To get to that point, the man apparently ate an average of 100 calories per day, so that's like a diet of apples, water, and coffee, with a smoking habit to really help curb that appetite. Though he hit a weight of 120 pounds, rumor out there is that Bale wanted to go further and drop 5 more, but was warned against it as he was at a serious risk of passing away. Bale has since spoken about his experience preparing and playing the physically demanding role, saying that he could barely run or walk up a flight of stairs without becoming completely exhausted. He says that the one positive part of the experience was that he ended up in a sort of zen state. It sounds like his body was shutting down and he wasn't feeling the physical sensations of being alive as much, and was left much to his own thoughts. Despite the movie being quite good and a certified cult classic, it continues to be a topic of conversation thanks in large part to Bale's commitment to every aspect of the role. Of course, he did all this with a team of help and supervision, as many big celebrities do. It wouldn't be safe otherwise. It's hard to imagine that just 1 year after this movie came out, audiences saw him in Batman Begins playing the Prince of Gotham City for the first time. Putting photos of the two performances side by side, it's hard to believe that they are the same person. A close second to Christian Bale's dramatic transformation is that of Chris Hemsworth for the film In the Heart of the Sea, and just before that, Black Hat. Hemsworth shocked the world with his dramatic transformation on his social media in 2015 when he posted a behind-the-scenes look at his character in Heart of the Sea. In the photo, Hemsworth is barely recognizable. For one, he is pretty dirty and has a very long beard and very long hair, but more than that, fans were concerned because he didn't look anything like himself. He was very slim in the shot, but that was the whole point. Hemsworth drew attention to his physical appearance, captioning the post, "Just tried a new diet/training program called Lost at Sea, wouldn't recommend it." His character was stranded at sea for 90 days in the film. In comparison to Bale, Hemsworth isn't super skinny like the whole film, but it's enough for the movie to matter. Hemsworth already had slimmed down considerably for the thriller Black Hat, but that is in comparison to his Norse god stature, aka Thor, in the MCU. He lost an additional 15 pounds after that for Heart of the Sea and described that last bit as exhausting. He talked about the difference between role prep, saying that bulking up for something is significantly better than slimming down. There is a mental toll as much as a physical one. He said he was almost playing mind games with himself with what he could and couldn't eat and when. The actor's diet at the time was apparently lots of salads and boiled eggs and crackers, coming in at around 500 calories a day. Hemsworth said the process of looking like his character actually ended up helping him better get in the mindset. Actress Anne Hathaway put everything she could into her role as Fantine in Les Mis, the movie The Musical. Fans were shocked to see the actress in such a frail state upon seeing the film for the first time, but she was actually completely accurate to what the character would have looked like given their life experience at that point. That doesn't mean that it was easy or fun for her, but she did do an amazing job on screen, so it wasn't for nothing. With such a dramatic change, people were tripping over themselves to figure out how Hathaway did it, but the actress was actually reluctant to share. She simply called her diet starvation, and some sources say that she didn't want to reveal the diet details because she didn't want anyone to try and copy her to achieve the same result. Her character did live in poverty, and they experienced basically starvation. Hathaway ended up losing 25 pounds to play her. 10 of that was pre-filming, the other 15 during. The latter of the two she actually did speak on, saying, "I just had to stop eating for a total of 13 days of shooting." Though Hathaway was reluctant to share details, a younger co-star of hers wasn't. The actress that played Hathaway's daughter shared that she would call Hathaway's meals rabbit food because it was mainly salad and other vegetables. Around this time, Hathaway had broken her arm, and the young actress believes that it was because she had grown so thin and so frail. The fall that broke her arm happened when Hathaway was just out riding a bike. Not only did Anne Hathaway opt to lose weight for the role, but also her hair. The actress decided to cut her hair off for the film. It was one of the biggest musical stage-to-screen adaptations of the era, and honestly still is, so go big big or go home, right? Jake Gyllenhaal had a dramatic weight change in preparation to take on the role of Lou Bloom for 2014's Nightcrawler. The actor lost 30 pounds in the end for the thriller, but he left that set with an additional souvenir, a very thin scar on his hand. So what actually went down on this movie set? Well, the movie was about a cameraman that gets by capturing the worst of people in a desperate attempt to get the coveted money shot. The reason Gyllenhaal found himself losing weight was not just to physically look like the character, he also suggested it was a mental thing too. He said that the character was literally always hungry, sure, but also figuratively speaking, he was hungry for the money shot, among other things. So, in Gyllenhaal's words, he got into the mode where he was always a bit hungry. Despite his figure changing considerably, Gyllenhaal has said that he doesn't view the weight loss as anything but getting into character. When people asked the standard question of, "How did you do it?" the actor simply said that it was the love of the film and he really had no technique. And as for that scar, there's a scene in the movie in which he crashes out in front of a mirror and basically just smashes it. The absolute blockbuster Deadpool and Wolverine released last summer and people couldn't get enough of it. Sure, the whole movie was widely loved by audiences across the board, but one scene in particular started getting lots and lots of attention, and that was the shot of Hugh Jackman as Wolverine helping Deadpool literally pull his world to survival. If you were unaware why that scene was so popular, it wasn't just an emotional montage. Hugh Jackman was shirtless, and Madonna's Like a Prayer, sung by a choir, played behind it. It was about as epic as a shirt exploding off of someone's back could be. Jackman was about 54 at the time of filming, and don't get me wrong, he looks fantastic. However, getting that look is way harder than you might think. To get the defined abs, actors not only have a very strict food diet, but it extends to the liquids they drink as well, or well, the ones that they don't. Hugh Jackman has been very vocal over the years about the extreme and sometimes damaging means to a ripped end, saying that leading up to a shot like that, you're not really eating and you can't drink anything, even water. Think about the last time that you went a bit too long without a proper meal and water breaks. Personally, I'm a nightmare, and I'm willing to bet that you're the same. Jackman's comments about the lengths that actors must go to achieve the defined look has opened up lots of conversations, in particular when it comes to the action genre, about how important is it really to see defined muscles when you know what the actor had to do to get there. Jackman has been doing this kind of extreme weight loss thing for a long time, because he's been playing Wolverine for a long time. The first X-Men came out in 2000, and that was his first big role, and then he went on to be Wolverine for 9 or 10 more movies. But that wasn't all he did. Jackman's career spans many genres, but for the most part, he's been living my dream with a run of half superhero and half musical theater. You would think the musical roles would be more forgiving in the food department, considering they require a bit of a hop, skip, and pep in your step, but that's where you would be wrong. Hugh Jackman famously starred as Jean Valjean in the movie musical Les Mis. Spoilers for it, I guess, but the movie's been out since 2012, the musical 1980, and the book 1862. Hugh Jackman's character begins his journey just getting out of a 19-year prison sentence that features lots of hard labor and little food, so the character physically has to look awful and malnourished. Jackman, while promoting the film, said that his prep for this opening sequence was harder than anything he'd ever done for a superhero movie, at least at that point. The tricky part is he would need to look strong because of all the labor, but also really sickly because of the starvation, and also he needed to sing. The director told the actor that he had to look so strikingly thin that his friends would actually think he was sick. That meant that he would be making multiple gym trips a day and eating just enough to not totally pass out. He almost did though. On the day of shooting, the actor admitted to being grumpy, dizzy, and in pain. In preparation for the 12-hour shoot day, the actor hadn't drank anything for 36 hours, but he says it was all worth it upon seeing the final product. But what do you think? Let us know, and if you're looking for more, check out the rest of the channel. Thanks for watching. Bye!